Imagine this, you have 24 hours, not a minute more. In 24 hours, either you walk away with more money than you could spend in 10 lifetimes, or you spend the rest of your life in a cell so small you can touch both walls at once. That was the exact position of a man the world would come to know only by a code name, the Professor. His real name doesn't matter. What matters is what happened in the last 24 hours before the biggest heist in European history either succeeded or collapsed into ashes. This is not a story about guns. It's a story about a mind so precise, so patient, that it turned an entire nation's police force into pieces on his chessboard. Stay till the end. Because the final twist in this story is something even his own team didn't see coming. Every great heist begins years before the first alarm goes off. The Professor spent over a decade planning what should have been impossible, robbing a national mint while it still had money inside, and walking out without firing a single bullet that killed anyone. He wasn't a criminal by nature. He was an economics professor's son who watched banks bail out the rich while ordinary families lost everything. That injustice planted a seed. And over the years, that seed grew into an obsession, not with money, but with proving that the system protecting the wealthy could be broken by patience and intelligence alone. He recruited 8 people. Not hardened criminals, but people with nothing left to lose. A young thief, a former soldier, a genius engineer, a con artist, a couple in love, and 2 brothers bound by loyalty. Each was given a city as a code name, identity erased. Only the mission remained. For months, they trained underground. Every scenario was rehearsed 100 times. Hostage negotiation, police psychology, escape routes, media manipulation. The Professor didn't just plan a robbery. He planned a war of information. And then came the final 24 hours, the hours that would decide everything. The team is inside. Hostages are secured. The perimeter outside is already crawling with police vehicles, snipers on rooftops, negotiators setting up command posts. Inside, there's an eerie calm. The Professor's voice crackles through a hidden earpiece worn by his second-in-command inside the building. Do not react to their pressure. Let them think they're in control. That is when they make mistakes. Outside, in a rented apartment overlooking the building, the Professor watches everything through hacked security feeds. He isn't hiding in a bunker. He's hiding in plain sight, close enough to intervene, far enough to never be suspected. Hour 22. The police inspector leading the operation is sharp, dangerously sharp. She notices inconsistencies in the hostage negotiations. Something about the calmness of the criminals unsettles her. She starts pulling old case files, looking for a pattern, a signature. She doesn't know it yet, but she's looking directly at a plan that has already anticipated her every move. Hour 20. Inside the building, tension rises. One hostage attempts to escape through a maintenance shaft. It's not part of the plan. The team scrambles. For a moment, chaos threatens to unravel months of preparation. The Professor's voice returns, steady as ever. Let them run. Panic is a weapon. We just need to point it in the right direction. The escape attempt is turned into leverage. Footage is leaked to the media showing desperate hostages, shifting public sympathy in an unexpected direction. Hour 18. The police attempt their first tactical breach test, a probing move to gauge the building's defenses. It fails instantly. The team was ready. Every entry point had been reinforced, every camera repositioned. The message sent back to command is simple. This isn't a normal robbery. These people knew we were coming. This is where the real heist begins, not with drills or vaults, but with psychology. Hour 17. The Professor arranges an anonymous meeting with the lead inspector. He doesn't reveal his identity. He simply plants a seed of doubt. What if this was never about money? What if the whole country needed to see something? It's a calculated risk. By giving her partial truth, he buys himself something more valuable than silence, trust, however fragile. Hour 15. Inside, one of the crew members starts to crack. The weight of what they're doing, the fear of dying inside those walls, becomes too much. A quiet breakdown unfolds in a back room, hidden from the hostages. The team's engineer, the emotional backbone of the group, talks him through it. Not with orders, but with a reminder. We didn't come here to become monsters. We came here to survive together or fail together. Hour 13. Outside, the inspector discovers a critical clue. a symbol scrawled on an old case file that matches something inside the building's surveillance footage. It's the first real thread connecting this heist to a mastermind who has been planning for years. She doesn't share this with her superiors yet. She wants to understand the enemy before exposing him. Hour 11. A media leak engineered, not accidental, shifts national attention. Citizens begin gathering outside the perimeter, some in support of the hostages, some oddly sympathetic to the criminals, believing rumors that this heist targets corruption, not innocent people. Public opinion, carefully manufactured hour by hour, becomes the group's greatest shield. Hour 10. Inside a hidden panel, weeks of preparation reveal their purpose: tunnels dug directly beneath the building, leading to the one place with the least security, because no one expected anyone to dig toward the vault instead of away from it. Hour 9. The inspector make her move. She organizes a covert unit to breach through a side entrance believed to be unguarded. It's a trap, one the professor predicted months earlier when designing the building's blind spots. The unit is stopped, non-violently but decisively, using a controlled diversion, smoke, noise, and a staged hostage transfer that pulls their focus elsewhere. Hour 7. For the first time, doubt creeps into the professor's own mind. A single security feed goes dark, not sabotage, but a technical failure. For 30 seconds, he loses visual on his team. Those 30 seconds feel like hours. It's the first time in the entire operation that his control slips, even briefly. He reroutes backup systems, restores the feed, and reminds himself of the one rule he built the entire plan around: prepare for the plan to fail. Never prepare only for the plan to succeed. Hour 5. Inside, hostages and captors have blurred lines. One hostage, initially terrified, begins to understand the reasoning behind the heist. Trust, however strange, starts to form. It isn't Stockholm Syndrome, it's shared exhaustion, shared humanity under extreme pressure. Hour 4. The inspector finally connects every piece. She realizes the entire operation was never random. Someone outside is directing it in real time. She begins searching for an external command point, narrowing down apartments with a direct line of sight to the building. She's getting close. Too close. Hour 3. The inspector's team locates the apartment. Officers move in silently, weapons ready, expecting to find the mastermind. Inside, nothing. Just old equipment, dust, and one folded note left deliberately on a table. The professor was already gone, hours ahead of them, exactly as planned. The note reads simply, "You were always looking for me. You should have been looking at yourselves." Hour 2. Inside the building, the final phase begins. Not an armed extraction, but something no one expected: preparation to disappear in plain sight. Fake identities, hidden exits already used earlier without anyone noticing, hostages calmly released one by one under negotiated terms. Hour 1. Sirens, confusion. Police storm the building expecting a final standoff. Instead, they find an empty vault-adjacent room, tunnels sealed shut, and every member of the crew already blended into the crowd of released hostages. Indistinguishable from the very people they had held captive hours earlier. The final minute. The inspector stands in the empty building, holding the folded note. She realizes the truth that will haunt her for years. This was never a heist that could be stopped by force. It could only be understood, and by the time she understood it, it was already over.